My number one favorite feature about these buds is the fact that they support ANC even though they're not in-ear buds. These are the Xiaomi Buds 5 announced at the same time as the Xiaomi 14T and the 14T Pro. And one of the biggest features that we have here obviously is not just having APTX Lossless support, also the ability of having spatial audio, but also the ability of having ANC, low latency mode to be able to get some really great gaming experiences off of these, and long battery life up to 6 hours with the built-in battery into the buds. This is TK and this is my review of the brand new Xiaomi Buds 5. Let's check them out. Like and subscribe and make sure you hit that bell icon so that you're always notified to whenever we have new videos for you on the channel. So what we have in front of us is the actual package. Again, this is the Xiaomi Buds 5. It does support high-res audio wireless solution. Obviously, these are wireless. It is by Xiaomi, and they do have Harman Kardon as far as the audio effects that we have in here. And one of the biggest things I appreciate here is the ability of supporting APTX Lossless. So depending on the device that you're using it with, you should be able to get the best resolution in that format. As you can see here, you have comfortable to wear 11mm dual drivers that we have in here in each bud, built-in dimensional audio, so we have spatial audio built in here, Qualcomm APTX Lossless audio supported with Qualcomm supported devices, so this is going to work really nice and gives us high quality audio. Active noise cancellation with 2 modes, which is very nice, and we'll check that out directly. 3 microphones with AI noise reduction for calls built into the actual earbuds. So we have a total of 6, 3 per each bud. Last but not least is the ability of using Google Fastpair with anything that runs Android 6.0 or higher. As far as what they look like in the box, this is pretty much what it is. It's a nice shiny coating material on the top. We have an LED light here to indicate for us if it's charging or discharging. So right now it's charging the buds themselves. We have a USB-C connector at the bottom, a push button here to be able to reset and connect. We do have the ability of supporting a dual connection in here. And of course, we have the moniker sitting in the back, Harman Kardon sitting in there, of course. Last but not least, the buds themselves look very nice. There is no in-ear solution. This is pretty much so basically there is no tips in the actual packaging for us to actually get the right fit. These will sit in your ear and they're ergonomically positioned and really nicely designed. Let's go ahead and let this focus. And you can see here the driver sitting in the back. We have an additional one sitting on the side for noise cancellation. The 2-pin connectors for charging, the microphone sitting at the bottom. This doesn't have touch support, but it actually does have a click support on the side once you have them inserted. And of course, we have them paired, and you can only put them in the configuration that they're supposed to. Now, as far as the charging case with the battery that we have in the buds, we're supposed to be able to get up to 39 hours of total usage, but roughly about 6.5 hours per basically using on the buds if you're listening to them. Of course, active noise cancellation may change those hours, but overall performance should be lasting a very long time. Now, this is launched at the same time as the 14T Pro as well as the 14T. Now, both of them are going to actually work really nicely. One thing to mention though, both of these devices are running MediaTek processors, and there's a feature that's built into these that will primarily work best on a Qualcomm chip, which is the APTX Lossless functionality. If you're going to use them without having APTX Lossless, that's pretty much what you get here when you go under audio configuration. You're going to be limited to having APTX just on regular, basically Dimensity or non-Qualcomm chipset. So that's one thing to keep in mind. So if you go to the Ultra, definitely you're going to get the APTX Lossless there. APTX, AAC, and SBC, so basically by default it'll go to AAC. If you want to be able to take the full benefit of the spatial or the dimensional audio that we're talking about here, you definitely need to be able to drop down back to AAC. That's going to be able to give you the immersive audio as well as track head movement, which works absolutely fantastic. And of course, if you're listening to 360 audio tracks on your device, like for me in this situation, I was actually playing some audio in here directly off of my Amazon library. Very nice and very easy. I can actually configure it, use it, and listen to it. And one of the other areas that we can also able to enjoy the audio on this here is the ability of turning on adaptive sound and low latency mode. Now, low latency mode allows us to actually get some great gaming experiences like Call of Duty, PUBG Mobile, anything that requires a low latency response. This is going to work really good for us. And keep volume consistent actually obviously works really good. Now for me, again, for the most part, what we're going to talk about is obviously APTX. That's going to be the best experience that we can get on a non-Qualcomm chipset. So that's one thing to keep in mind. And then when we switch over here, that you can see here that dimensional audio does go away. That's because of the codec audio. We've already talked about that. Gestures, you're able to customize it, change different configuration, noise cancellation, personalize them. And of course, as I mentioned, these are pinch configurations and not sliding. So there's not gestures per se, but you know, that's what we have in there. In-ear detection, dual connection, as we talked about before, show notification shade. Of course, that's when you're able to swipe down. You can see the configuration for the battery level on the case, as well as the actual buds themselves. Answering call automatically if you want to do that. Download automatic update if you need to. Now for me, I did check. There was one update when I received these buds and it's been working perfectly fine since then. If you have a missing earbud alert, if for some reason you don't put them away, you can turn that on there and you can rename them if you'd like. About, feedback, and of course the FAQ is positioned at the bottom. But when we put these buds in our ear, this is where things change a little bit. So let's go ahead and put them in there. And once you have them in, there's a small audio cue that tells you that the active noise cancellation is turned on, and you can actually notice the difference or in the reduction of sound from the surrounding area. Turning it on is very simple. You can either turn it on, have it on auto configuration, and you have the two modes, balanced or deep. Obviously, you can set it up to the level that you want. The great thing about it is it reduces the surrounding audio, but it doesn't reduce it to the point where you're not aware. So this is where the difference between these and let's say some of the other buds that Xiaomi has put out in the past, those provide us more of a very much, I'll say isolation type of an ANC. This one is more somewhat of a spatial aware type ANC that provides us that same experience, of course. Last but not least, again, you can see the battery information at the top. All of this is actually positioned directly within the settings tab here, directly on Xiaomi devices. So if you're running a Xiaomi device, it's pretty straightforward. You can go in there and you can customize and go into the settings. Non-Xiaomi devices will require to download the Xiaomi Earbuds app, and hopefully that'll be available. I am reviewing these pre-launch, so one of the things is that the app has not been updated for my region, but the main difference between what we have in the settings section here and the app is that the app will support the on-device recording, which is a very nice function that's coming to these buds. So we'll definitely do an update to that once that functionality is available. Okay, let me jump in real quick here to give you guys a quick heads up, or at least an update on something that I mentioned in the video. At the time of recording the main video, I did not have access to the Xiaomi Earbuds app, or at least the beta version that's supporting the brand new Buds 5. Now, since then, I've actually did get access to that and I've been using it and testing it out. And I'll say this, the audio recording is first and foremost a unique feature that I don't think many other buds, or at least to my knowledge, no other bud has it. And what makes this unique is the fact that you can actually record audio and store the audio on the actual buds themselves. Meaning, I don't actually have them connected to a phone. I can record the audio on the buds. And then later on, when you connect the buds back to the phone, you can actually transfer them to your device and listen to the audio. And the experience overall, it's probably, I'll say it's in early stages. It may need another update or so, but generally, at least the way it works right now, audio records on the left earbud alone. It does give me a phonetic notification telling me that it's recording. So this is something that you need to be aware of. Obviously, do not at any time record anybody that is not intended to be recorded or is not aware that you're recording them. So this is purely used for personal use. And what I see this being used for is essentially is like personal notes. Like, you know, I'm walking around and I want to take a quick audio note and I want to be able to save it. You can record it directly. I have this actually paired directly to the app, the Earbuds app, and I've configured it to the long press on the left earbud so that it becomes easy for me to activate without having to kind of turn on the app. And then once you're done, you connect it back to the phone, download the audio and listen to it, and you're actually able to see or hear pretty much the experience. Again, for me right now, as it seems, it records from the left ear and the left ear only. You are able to record two people, although just be aware that the other person's proximity to you will affect how loud the noise is. And it does pick up everything. Also, it does seem to also mix the audio. So essentially, even though it's for the most part recording in mono audio, it's producing a stereo audio on the actual M4A file. It's an audio file. This is going to be a quick test. I am recording audio right now using the buds themselves. Now, they're sitting inside of the actual case because I want to make sure that they're directional to where I am. And it's recording directly on the actual buds. You'll notice there's a little timer. It says 12 seconds, 13 seconds, 14, and it's going to keep recording until I stop it. I can initiate it directly from the buds themselves, or I can initiate it directly from the app. Once I'm done, go ahead and hit pause. Now the recording you can see is sitting here and it's under the buds, under the earphones section. I can go into the phone. You'll see those are the other clips I was recording. And of course, when I go back into the earbuds, I just hit the button that says save all. It's going to transfer the actual recording straight from the buds into the actual device. And now I should be able to hear it. Let's go ahead and play the audio all the way loud so you guys can hear it. Using the buds themselves. Now, they're sitting inside of the actual case because I want to make sure that they're directional to where I am. And as you could hear there, it actually plays them quite well. The audio is very nice, but one thing to keep in mind, it is very much primarily on the person that's wearing them. Anybody else that's around you, the audio will be much lower and you may have to edit it. The experience is actually functional. It is absolutely working. It is not available on the Bluetooth settings directly within the Xiaomi OS at this point with HyperOS. It's only available directly with the Earbuds app. So you do need to have that A available in your market, B, install it and pair it to your buds and control the buds directly from there. And one thing to mention is when you're listening to 360 audio, let's say using the Amazon Music application or any other players that support it, you do need to make sure to turn it over. By default in Amazon, it turns on to stereo mode, which again, you can see the supported codec. But if I want to be able to listen to 360 audio, I do need to switch it over here and drop it to AAC. Just keep those two in mind and then you'll be able to do that. Again, one of the differences between these and some of the other buds that you may have seen in the past is the fact that they don't have any ear tips in them. So meaning they just sit in the actual ear and they just sit there. Now, these are not going to be as secure as in-ear buds. So if you're thinking about running with these, just be aware, as long as you're not going through a much strenuous type of an activity, these should be okay. Will they fall out if you're just doing a lot of jumping and movement? There's a possibility for that. So my recommendation is not necessarily to use them for exercise, but maybe for if you're going for a fast walk or some light exercise, this should be pretty simple. Audio performance has actually been surprisingly well, and the range, as you can imagine, is very, very good. As usual, I like to leave my phone with the music playing on in the office, and I like to go across the house. Now, connectivity was not an issue. Configuration as far as the ability of skipping tracks, starting and stopping music, in-ear detection, everything worked great. Spatial audio, as I mentioned to you, or dimensional audio as they're referring to it here, you do need to basically be in AAC mode. If you're trying to go to the higher codec, unfortunately, we don't have it supported in that level. But other than that, I think let's go ahead and go outside real quick and do a quick audio test of those 3 microphones to see how well the audio isolation is done with these buds. So now we're outside doing a quick audio sample of the microphones that we have here on the brand new Xiaomi Buds 5. We're supposed to have 3 microphones on each bud and of course some great audio isolation. You probably shouldn't be able to hear even the birds or the plane that's flying above me, and should be pretty much focused on me. Great for phone calls, video calls, and of course, the performance that we're going to get here is going to depend on the device that you're using. The maximum resolution that we're going to be able to get here as far as audio quality is going to be APTX Lossless on Qualcomm-based devices. If you're using it with a MediaTek device, it's going to be basically running in at about basically APTX. That's going to be the best performance there. As far as the actual performance, the look, very nice. Active noise cancellation does help us with the reduction of external audio. Now, there's I think an ambulance not that far from here, so I'm not sure if even you guys can hear it. I can hear it because these don't have the ear tips, so I'm actually able to be more, I would say, basically aware of my environment. The ANC doesn't basically shut everything down, but it reduces the environment down to make the music a little bit more focused. Now, as you heard there, the audio was actually very much focused on me. You were barely able to hear anything around me. Now, because of their configuration, I was still able to hear the surrounding major noises. Not every little detail. I'll probably say if somebody next to me was whispering, I probably wouldn't have heard them because obviously we were talking and there's a little bit more interference going on. But if I'm listening to a little bit of music, I don't have to put the music too high. I'm still able to hear what's going on around me, and I'm still able to actually be part of the conversation. If I just want to be able to jump from one call to the other, I can just put this thing, and then obviously it stops the music. We're able to talk. I can put them back in. And what I like about them is it does a little bit of what I would say like a little chime. So here, let's go and click it once. It'll do a little bit of a chime letting us know that the active noise cancellation is turned on. And the way it works, it actually listens to the surrounding sound and it tries to cancel it out by pushing audio that cancels it. So similar to some of the other solutions we've seen before, except that here it's actively trying to cancel surrounding sound as well as playing music at the same time. Just think of all the things that it's trying to do to give us that audio experience. The levels are very good. The bass levels are pretty decent. Low latency be mode actually was surprisingly well. I was playing Call of Duty Mobile when I was testing the 14T Pro with this. It's actually pretty nice. I was able to not only hear the game, but also be aware of where the directional experience is coming from. If somebody's walking in from the right side, I was able to distinguish that. But the biggest thing obviously is that there was no delay. There was no issue there. You can see here with, this is a Norah Jones track that I'm playing in Ultra HD off of Amazon. I'm able to go to 24-bit at 96 kilohertz, and this is with aptX. So you're not losing any of the audio experience. The main thing that's going to be the difference here is that the aptX Lossless is giving us that CD quality level. This is supposed to be an even higher quality, closer to what physical media was giving us before we started going wireless all over the place. And this is something that I got a chance to experience at Snapdragon Summit not that long ago. So with that being said, if you're looking for a pair of buds that are not in ear, meaning you want to still be able to have some spatial awareness of what's going on, but you want to be able to get some great audio. You also want to be able to get some ANC and of course spatial audio, 360 audio if you want to call it again, with all the functionalities. And But at the end of the day, let me know in the comments below, what do you guys think about the brand new Xiaomi Buds 5? Are these the solutions that you guys have been waiting for, or do you prefer the in-ear solution that Xiaomi offers? Again, both are going to be great, but I feel like a lot of the tech that we're getting in here is unique. On-device recording, APTX Lossless, 360 audio, and of course we're looking at also the ability of having like long battery life and ANC in a small pair of buds like these. It's not an easy combination to find, and I think Xiaomi definitely has a hit. Like and subscribe as usual. Thank you very much for the support, and of course, I'll see you in the next video.